Are you ready to promo the code?
What is it?
The code is Dangle. The website is Manscaped. The deal is 20% off and free shipping. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Why isn't
Podcasting.
it going to manscaped.com? Stop what you're doing. Go to manscaped.com. No, do it.
It's gonna ruin the show if
Jesse,
we stop
put
podcasting.
it on your damn computer.
Why is he
Go to
allowed to do that?
manscaped.com.
You get mad at me when I have a computer.
You're not allowed to have
it
it because Jesse can focus.
He's allowed to online shop.
Yep. Because Jesse can focus. He can do two things at once.
Steve doesn't have
No.
that ability.
Oh, I love him. He's really good at the one thing, though. You're very good at being on the one thing. You're a one thing guy. It's okay. Dangle.
You friggin'
Manscaped.com. 20% off free shipping. Let's start the show.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Canada's Sportsbook.
SDP. The Steve Dangle Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Just wiping my sweaty palms on Steve's arm.
Why are you so sweaty?
I have sweaty palms. I don't know. I'm a sweaty guy, but I actually, it's funny. I have like a skin condition, and so I was able to, through my benefits, get Botox under my arms. So now I don't sweat so much.
You what?
Yeah. So if you got like super bad sweating, like I did. So okay, in high school, and I was super insecure about this, I stopped wearing gray, and I had to bring an extra t-shirt to school every day.
Every day?
Every day, because I can remember sitting in math class and feeling the sweat drip down the side of my body. Yeah, man. It's hyperhidrosis, I think is what it's called. So anyway, yeah. So now it's, instead of coming out the pits, coming out the hands. Look at this.
Oh, but,
Yeah. Sorry.
Boo.
For everybody who's sweaty out there, we have no product for you. We're not hawking anything, but I did want to let you know that I feel you. And it's tough, and it's not your choice, and it's okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're, just letting people know.
I'm letting people know.
They're not alone.
The Tampa Bay Lightning
Jeez.
have taken away the Rangers' home ice advantage. Remember, the Rangers were 20 minutes away from going up 3-0 in the series, and now it's 3-2 Lightning. What?
That's not enough. That's not enough.
What's not enough?
Because, just everyone turns that knife. Like an alligator in a death roll.
20 minutes.
How close were they, Adam? How close were the Rangers?
A period of hockey.
Oh,
One period.
man.
They were getting outplayed, but they were a period away.
How much time was left when Palat got the game winner?
I believe it was 41.3 seconds.
Oh, man. That's so close to the end of the game. Man, that sucks. I would feel bad if that was my team. If that happened to my team, I would feel sad about it. And I would feel really sad if everyone turned the knife for weeks about it. I'd feel so bad if I was so
I feel
close
like you're hinting at something
to beating
here.
the Lightning and everyone shit on my team for weeks and weeks. Oh, man. Oh, well. Maybe they won't feel bad next game.
Here's what it feels like to me.
How does it feel?
This is what it feels like. It doesn't feel like that, what you just said. What it feels like to me is Tampa wants Colorado. Like if it feels like after game 2, Tampa was like, okay, Colorado is going to win the series. I think they basically swept Edmonton in about 3 minutes. Like that series was over so fast. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And I think Tampa's like, okay, Colorado, you think you're big. You've done well.
Mm-hmm.
Come and take it from us.
Ugh.
I think that's what I think Tampa's going to win this series. I think they know Colorado will take the Rangers every day. Of course. They want Colorado, and if Colorado's going to win, it's like you're going to have to go through us.
This is going to be a slobber knocker. Like if that's how it happens, Rangers fans are going to be losing their mind right now. This series is not over.
Right.
It's the playoffs. Dumber things have happened.
But I mean, it's basically over.
It's just difficult to envision because they've won 10 straight series. This would be number 11. We do not remember what it's like to... It's impossible to picture Tampa losing a series.
Their last series loss was pre-pandemic.
Their last series loss was the sweep versus Columbus.
Did you see John Tortorella on TNT?
No.
Taking credit for this?
What?
The quote, "We created a monster."
Oh, that's funny.
In some ways, they did.
I respect that. You know what? John's trolling, and I respect
He's good.
it.
He's good at what he does.
Respect that happening.
That's more like it, John. Well done. Well done. You know what? We criticize him when he's wrong. Point, John.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
Very well done. But like the The Columbus sweep erased how good the Lightning were before that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We forgot they made the Cup final in 2015. There were a few conference finals appearances in there, close misses. They should have beaten Washington. That should have been a Tampa-Vegas final. And Braden Holtby just decided, I'm better than Andrei Vasilevsky for these 2 games. And he was. And no one's done it since.
It's crazy, isn't it?
No one has bloody done it since.
And listen, if you're a Rangers fan and you're like, hey, Adam, F off, I get it. Rangers opened the scoring, man.
Yep.
I mean, you did get the thing was, though,
It's not over.
When Lindgren scores, though,
Yeah.
you get the sense that Tampa cares.
No, never.
No.
This is the thing. Like, sometimes you see a team, and I've seen it with the Leafs, and they were younger, right? This year was a little bit different, I have to say. But in younger Leafs, when Boston would score first or Columbus would score first, they go, oh, man. Tampa, it's like, we don't fucking care. And that, especially for a younger team like New York, that's got to be a little scary. Don't you think?
Yeah, but they don't really seem to be buckling to that. Like, I got to say, like,
they've lost
Rangers
3 games in a row.
Yeah, dry. But they've been close. It's been competitive. It's been tight. It's just Tampa beating them in the little moments, man. The little moment. Like, what? Okay. Can we give the Rangers credit in defeat?
Certainly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm prepared
Absolutely.
to do. Because Tampa's just that ridiculous.
But that's what I'm saying, though, right? I'm not saying, like, this is the thing with speaking these days, is like, if you say one
It's
thing's good,
hard to do.
the other thing must be bad. And
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying New York's bad.
Every
They're in the
conversation
conference
starts
finals.
from the fucking beginning.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, of time, I mean.
But we do need to talk about the fact that it does look like Tampa's pretty commanding here.
Yeah.
And it's awesome for New York that they're here. They're playing with house money. Oh my God. Like, this is a great team to build on. They're going to need some center help next year. They're going to need some center depth. They're going to need their centers not to be injured too.
Well.
Like, hobbling along.
And to age.
And age, for sure. But I think Leaf fans specifically, because it's all about us, remember that, want to talk about the first Lightning goal. So this is the goal that ties up the game, where Nick Paul sets a pick, and Sergachev gets I don't know if it's a clear look at the net, but it's a clear shot at the net.
It's more clear than it would have been.
And sneaks it through the pads. And I don't even think Sergachev.
I don't remember what
Shesterkin saw it.
Oh.
I don't think he saw it.
Yeah, and Sergachev didn't even score the goal because it bounces off Palat's shin.
No, I don't think.
Is that the second one?
That's the second one.
You're talking about the second. You're talking about the.
I'm pretty sure isn't the first goal Sergachev unassisted?
Doesn't matter. It's the Lightning fired a puck on from the point, and they were allowed to get a clear look from the point because Nick Paul, more like Pick Paul, you see on the Rangers defender there, but he did it far more stealthily and sneakily, and he just did it less than Justin Hall did. Justin Hall collides into his man. I think it was Anthony Cirelli. Paul, I saw producer Drew cleverly saying that he did everything he could to get out of his way. Drew, shut up.
I know he did.
Shut up.
That's just trolling.
He's so
stuck
full
his
of crap.
leg out. He
Drew.
stuck his leg out. I think Rangers fans are far more upset about the Keandre Miller penalty on I think it was Stamkos, the hook.
Yep.
But it's okay. The NHL's got their best guys on the case.
Well, and this is the thing, right? It had to be those fucking guys,
the
right?
same guys from Leafs Game 7 were like, don't worry, it's not a pick. How many pick penalties do we see a season? And why is the answer less than 5?
That's true. And why did it have to happen in the Leafs in Game 7?
Like, every playoff is an education. We should be grateful. What? It's good. It's great. I love learning the sport of hockey every spring. I'm sure most fans do.
Well, okay, but let's also continue on here because I think obviously the refs have been missing calls. I think that's gone both ways though, right? Like, I don't think it's been slanted to what's Rangers fans are complaining, Lightning fans are complaining. That's how you know it's somewhere in the middle. Now the NHL says that's the way it should be. I'm not saying that that's necessarily the case. They're like, well, if both sides are complaining, then it's being reffed properly. No, that's not also true. It just means that you're just equally bad. but I don't know if they're trying to intentionally let them play or not. The standards have been sloppy, but I just want to throw this at you. Third game in a row. If you did not yell fucking Andre Palat at the screen. 8 goals and 6 assists in this playoffs. Best hockey of his career, I think, came against the Leafs and now the Rangers.
Yeah, man.
He was a monster in the Leafs series. And, in a low event game like this, a guy like Andre Palat's he's going to change things for you.
And he was part of that famed triplets line in 2015. Like, how are you underrated for this long? It shouldn't be allowed. Like, where does he rank among Tampa players even? Is he top 5? But
yeah,
he's been underrated since the beginning of his career, basically. I wonder, he's one of those guys, we talk about the career of Vasilevsky and acknowledging his greatness in his 20s. And the Lightning are full of guys who, at the end of their career, we're going to be talking about their resumes, and they're all going to be ridiculous. Where's Palat going to end up there? Because I'm thinking of his countrymen, and he's not going to be nearly as revered as this guy because he had the individual numbers. He had the big regular season numbers as well. But he might end up with more cups than this person. Marian Hossa.
Interesting.
Just good defensive winger. Didn't need the spotlight. Didn't need the attention. Just every shift ruled. Every goddamn shift. Andre Palat, man. Andre Palat. I'm not comparing his accolades to Marian Hossa. Obviously, Marian Hossa was a monster, especially in the first half of his career. Andre Palat at this age reminds me of back half Marian Hossa.
Yes.
Kind of.
A little bit more of a stingy guy. Like kind of a pain in the ass.
Just a pain
Hossa
in
was
the
all,
ass.
he was in Ottawa. I remember he was all flash. He was amazing.
He was points guy.
Yeah, he was. And that's great. He was good at that.
It's good to be good at that.
100%.
He was traded for Danny Heatley guy.
Right.
I seem to remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Damn. And here's the thing. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a low event game. Tampa's going to win those. If you have a low event game, Tampa, I think, is going to win that.
Yeah. I saw the games 1-1 late. And I'm like, yeah, Rangers are boned.
They had a shot. Like I know a lot of Rangers fans, when I was looking at the reaction, they think Ryan Strome right now is the worst NHL player in the history of time.
But he's injured. He's injured.
No, for whiffing on the puck right in front of the net. Like that particular play, you're like, okay, the game is to do the little things right versus the Lightning, and you have the little thing right there is you whiff on the puck. And then it's literally a 1-goal game that makes the entire difference. And if you're Strome and you don't capitalize on that, it's so disappointing. I know Ranger fans are upset at that. But I thought there was a great quote post game from the Lightning, because they were talking about how every shift, it's not like, hey, we're going to go out there and score every shift. We take every shift one shift at a time. We know something's going to happen eventually. You go out there, you do your thing each time on each shift, and one of these eventually we're going to score. And every single game, there's a different guy who we're like, that's his game. Like 2 games ago was Andre Palat. Last night's the Sergachev game where he scores 1.5 goals. And then we'll go back and we'll be like, oh, that's the Nick Paul game. And we're never talking here like every game's the Stamkos game. Every game's the Hedman game. Every game's the point game wins in the lineup. Every game's the Vasilevsky. No, it's a different guy each time, and it's not even the stars. It's relentless. Yeah. And it's unfair that they have this team. And I don't know how the Rangers overcome this.
They had a highlight reel goal. It was Bogosian Maroon.
Yeah, Zach Bogosian last game dangling the defense, dangling Ryan Reeves, who out of the lineup.
Yeah,
for like an injured Strome, and that's not like the 1-for-1 replacement, but maybe you throw Reeves back in there for game number 6. I don't know. You're kind of missing his big body.
Oh, he bangs that in.
The fight. We didn't even get to the fight. Stamkos and Lafreniere.
Yeah. Stamkos' first fight since 2019. His fight card is ridiculous.
The first punch he throws, he doesn't connect, but it's a damn good punch.
He's so in shape. I wouldn't want. You've seen him deadlift, right?
I've seen him, jump on everything, jump on a box like a cheetah.
I don't want to fight a guy like that.
He went to the Gary Roberts school of we're gonna care about fitness. As hockey players,
we're gonna eat spinach, we're gonna drink water, and we're gonna lift heavy shit.
Lafreniere should be glad he didn't go to the Gary Roberts school of mauling people.
Yeah.
Here's Stamkos' fight card. Zherdev, 2008.
Wow.
And I remember this because I was interning that night and I was like, did Stamkos just fight Zherdev? Marchand, 2015.
Oh, yeah.
Huge gap. Karl Alzner, 2018. Pavel Buchnevich, 2018. Evgeny Malkin, 2019. And Alexei Lafreniere last night. It's quite the...
that's pretty good.
It's a pretty good team.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good team of guys. He doesn't really make a habit of fighting bums.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
And
we should be honored. It means you're good.
For the Lightning, they've shut down 5-on-5 scoring for the Rangers.
It's over.
At 5-on-5, it's so difficult for them to generate offense. And then Vasilevsky, he's back into form. Took 2 games off, the first 2 of the series, and now he's been shutting everything down.
By the way, the Canadians are still paying Karl Alzner's buyout.
Oh, yeah? Till when?
That contract was supposed to end this year.
You looked that up?
I just looked it up because I remember that the Karl Alzner. I'm like, that was a crazy fucking deal. Mm-hmm. Remember, it was 5 years, 23.15 million.
It was ungood, and probably an omission of ours in the Mark Bergevin got fired conversation.
Yeah, nobody talks about. When you bring him up, I'm like, oh my god, Karl Alzner is probably on the Canadians at that point.
Stanley Cup final makes you forget a lot.
Yes, it does. Just ask Vancouver, at least their former management group, about Jay Beagle. So listen, here's the question I have. I don't care about Game 6. What's New York got to do to win Game 7? What has to happen in Game 6 and 7 for New York to be the ones to play Colorado?
Shesterkin has to be better than Vasilevsky in Game 6 and in Game 7. I think he can do it once. You have to do it twice. When it comes to envisioning a Stanley Cup final, right? Because that's where we're at. There's 3 more teams left.
Mm-hmm.
There's Colorado and the coronation of Nathan MacKinnon and that crew. That's a great story. There's the Lightning completing the three-peat. They're a true dynasty. Then there's the Rangers, who I'm kind of pulling for in terms of, I can get behind the Lightning and cheering for greatness. I think it's okay to cheer for Goliath sometimes. But the Rangers have to play the role of David. So what's gonna be their pebble? What's gonna be their thing that allows them to topple this team that is apparently untoppleable? Tampa messes with your mind. You almost would rather get your ass kicked, like Colorado style, and just get completely swept out of the playoffs. They leave trauma. Islanders fans, help me out. You look at Game 7 last year, and you go, if this happened, we tie the game, we could even win it. If this one moment, we could win it. The Leafs. If this happens, and if this doesn't get called, or if this does get called, the Rangers. We know what they do well.
We do.
We know what they do well. So, what am I going to sit here like every other, hockey asshole who talks and go, well, Zibanejad and Kreider need to score. Money, please.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true because there's one way for the Rangers to win it. And I was talking yesterday on the Jesse Blake Sports Report about.
Never heard of it.
I was like, okay, I'm going to place a bet on the Rangers. It'd be you take the Rangers on the plus goals, plus you take the over in the game, because the way they're going to beat it, it's not going to be Rangers won 1-0. No, it's going to be a shootout, or they just score a shit ton of goals. It's going to be somewhere where they're winning a 6-3 game.
They can win games where Shesterkin allows 3 goals on 55 shots.
Yeah.
And they're good at winning those games.
Yeah, they're very good at winning those games.
Mm-hmm. So, what you're really asking me is, what are the Rangers at their best? And is the Rangers at their best capable of beating Tampa? sure. But Tampa is always, every single game, capable of beating you at your best. Because they're never not at their best.
And I think that's a perfect segue to find out what the odds are with Sports Interactions. Dave Bastel, we'll get to that in a second. But first, I want to remind you that this segment 19 plus gaming, and obviously if you want to check out great gaming strategies like safe gaming strategies, that sort of thing, please look at the link in the description of the podcast and obviously in the video below. If you're watching 19 plus, let's get into You Can Bet That. Dave Bastel, sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. Dave, it's a big weekend for sports. We got NBA Finals, we got NHL Eastern Conference Finals, and we got the return of the CFL. So let's start with Golden State in Boston. Obviously, this is a much tighter series, and I think everybody thought Golden State would be up at this point. What are the odds looking like?
Yeah, you know what? Right now, and I think you said it right there. Game number 4, Boston's up 2-1. Celtics 4-point favorites at Sports Interaction and accepting pretty good money right now. I know that Steph Curry will play tonight, but question marks on how much, how well. I don't know about you guys, but Steph Curry, even at 50%, is probably still a top 5, top 10 player in the league.
Yep.
But I don't know. Would we be surprised if this series goes back to San Francisco tied at 2?
Jesse, no. I'm looking at you. You're the one paying most attention to it.
Boston. I love the schedule that's happening because every night it's either I'm taking my evening watching Stanley Cup final, I'm watching the NBA Finals. It's awesome.
Totally agree.
I think Boston take care of business tonight.
Really?
I think they go up 3-1.
Wow.
Yeah, they're such a strong defensive team, and they had the Warriors came back briefly in Game 3, and Boston just said, "Okay, you guys made this run, but we know who we are," and they took care of business in the fourth quarter.
Draymond's going to talk so much crap about you on his podcast.
Yeah,
Draymond's got more fouls than points.
Yeah, he's got to score more than 2 points if they're going to win. Lightning and Rangers. Obviously, the we talked about it. And, we said it before, but I want to say it one more time. The Rangers were about 20 minutes away from going up 3-0 in this series. They are now down 3-2. Going back into Tampa, they got to stay alive. What are the odds saying, David? Yeah,
the odds are saying this is a Tampa Bay finisher right now because you're not getting any value on the Lightning right now. You can get them at about 1.53 to win the game. Oof. Total still at 5.5, which is probably pretty normal for this kind of series. But yeah, according to the numbers, guys, the Bolts close on Saturday.
Do you give it to them?
Yeah, it's been great watching the Rangers. It's so fun. They could still make the Cup final, but I'm just watching them. I'm just watching that boa constrictor tighten every time they try to take a breath. Tampa wins best of 3s. And they're up 1-0.
And lastly, the CFL is back this weekend. Obviously, we've got, I know the Tiger Cats and Riders are playing. I know the Elks and Lions are playing, but let's talk about this. The Blue Bombers.
What are my 3-peat odds? 3 in a row? Grey Cups? Blue Bombers? What are the odds on that?
I think so. Dynasty.
Winnipeg native, Dave Bastel. What's the Winnipeg-Ottawa game looking like for Saturday?
Well, you know what? It's interesting because that game opened up at 9.5-point favorites and immediately money on the Red Black. So that number actually has been bet down. Bombers now 7.5-point favorites. And it seems to be stalled there. So people still like the Bombers to win this game, but 9.5, 10 points were a little too rich considering what Ottawa did in the offseason. They were probably the busiest team in free agency. They picked up about 5 or 6 new players, brand new quarterback in Jeremiah Mazzoli from the Hamilton Ticats. So you know what? Things are looking good in Ottawa, but not at the level of the Blue Bombers.
Yeah. Well, because no one's ever at the level of the Blue Bombers, right?
Look at you. And you know what? Shame on you guys for 2 things.
Okay.
AEW talk, not including me on it. Okay?
I know. Sorry. Yes.
And also, I have yet to see a segment on this show that the Lady Bing is really the Hart Trophy. So let's work on that for next time.
Oh, because Kyle Connor won.
See you guys later.
Thanks, Dave.
Have a good weekend.
SportsInteraction.com/SDPN for all your Winnipeg and other teams. Okay? That's the right way to say it, right?
Any?
No, there are no teams outside
I'm tired of this Winnipeg-centric show.
Hiring people's always been tough. Finding good people's always been tough. Workable can help you with that. Workable helps you cast the widest possible net by posting jobs to all the top job boards. There's over 200 in total with just one click. It just reminds me of a young Steve Dangle doing part-time highlight clips at the CBC. If only Workable had existed when you were applying for jobs at like Sportsnet.
Yeah.
They would have been able to find you easier. And it helps you evaluate and hire quickly with modern tools like video interviews and e-signatures. Imagine Steve's resume versus Steve the guy. A bit of a difference, right? You want to see the people in person.
Yeah, I always say.
And Workable will help you automate repetitive tasks like scheduling interviews so you can just spend your time on what's important, which is making hires. Whether you're hiring for your coffee company or your engineering team or maybe your media corporation, Workable is exactly what you need to hire the right people fast.
Post that posting for we need a new host.
One more thing, risk-free 15-day trial. If you hire during the trial, which many people do, won't cost you a thing. Workable.com, start hiring. Workable is hiring made easy. You know how passionate we are about butt fun. And that's why SeatGeek is what you need to use. Has your butt had a lot of fun lately? You've been treating it well?
I think.
Well, maybe not enough.
So.
SeatGeek is beloved by many butts because they're the highest rated ticketing app. Whether it's concerts, you're talking baseball, basketball, football, festivals. If your team is still in the playoffs, what's that like? I wonder.
I don't know.
We should use SeatGeek to go to a Jays game together.
We should.
Ooh.
That'd be
SeatGeek puts tickets from all over the web in one place, and it makes it simple to buy. As Jesse said, the Jays. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so every ticket.
Why not?
SeatGeek rates every ticket from 0 to 10 to make sure you're getting a good deal. Green means good, red means bad, and you can get $20 off your first purchase with the promo code SDP.
Oh, it's SDP?
SDP at SeatGeek.com or on the SeatGeek app. Again, it's promo code SDP. $20 off your first SeatGeek order. The SeatGeek, get your butt in a seat. Download the app today.
Butts.
Buying a car and selling a car is already a big decision, but here's the thing. A couple of factors you got to take in right now. First off, resale value, because resale value has gone through the roof. Your car might be worth more now than when you bought it.
What?
That's actually happening, especially there's certain market segments and whatever. And then, of course, what do you get next? You want something that's environmentally sustainable. You want something that is going to get you where you need to go every single day and is reliable.
It's time to move off of the Mazda.
Yeah, maybe.
We need to get rid of the Mazda,
Well,
Steve.
I like it.
You can learn from comprehensive articles on their electric vehicle buying guide. You can read honest, in-depth reviews from their team of unbiased automotive experts. They even have EV rankings for categories such as SUVs and luxury vehicles. You can compare models side by side for details like fuel economy, ownership costs, and ratings. So if you're considering making a change on your road, Edmunds is here to help. Visit edmunds.com/appraisal to get a free online appraisal for your car today. That's edmunds.com/appraisal. Edmunds, they drive it like it is.
That Mazda's worth $1 million.
I know.
So yesterday on Agent Provocateur, when Alan and I, so we just put it out today, but we recorded it yesterday, and we had a guest who will appear next week that actually canceled on us last minute. And if you're a Pens fan, you're going to be very excited. That's all I'm going to say. Now,
Marc-Andre Fleury again.
no.
Sidney Crosby.
No.
Again.
But it's a good one. It's
Mario
a really good
Lemieux.
one. So we'll talk about that in a second. But what it meant was, we got playoff stories part 2, but we didn't get it with a guest. We just got Alan. And I love this because I want Alan to tell more Alan stories.
Absolutely.
And
Alan's stories rule.
And it doesn't even have to be stories that Alan was involved with, just stories in the league. So I'm going to play a clip for you, and I think you're going to know who this is. Alan does not name them, but we talked about everything from
Sound like Leo.
So we talk this.
He goes.
This podcast is crazy because we talk about everything from playoffs now to playoffs in the bubble and what the NHL. I didn't know this was super underreported. What the NHL promised the players versus what they delivered. And they came up super short. No one's talked about it.
If you remember the Greg Wyshynski and Emily Kaplan article had the fly fishing is what they had reported.
Right.
So the NHL had pamphlets of what the bubble's going to be like. And there was a picture of a dude fly fishing, and it became an internal joke among NHL players about like, hey, we're going fly fishing today, because that was never a thing. They're like, we're in the middle of Edmonton in downtown Toronto. Where are we going fly fishing?
I was about to say, is that I'm not an accomplished fisherman. I don't know if you can do that here. Okay.
So anyways, yeah, they lied.
So they lied, and a bunch of other stuff too. And then Alan casually drops when the salary cap is actually going to go up significantly. So we know what season that's going to happen. So that's in there as well. And I think he's the first one to talk about it. I don't think I've seen anybody else really talk about what year it's actually going to be. But this is great because this is one of the stories that he tells. You've probably heard this before, and I want to know if you can name the player. So go ahead, Jesse.
There was a situation where a player, he goes to free agency, sent an email back to the team. He'd been negotiating with them all day, confirming we have a deal. The team releases the information on the signing. We have signed this player to so many years. And then the team sends the contract to the agent. One day goes by, the contract has not been returned. There's an announcement that another team in the NHL has signed that player to a deal. The team that originally had him said, we have an email from the agent confirming the deal in writing. Unless a standard player contract is duly registered with NHL Central Registry, you have nothing. Gary Bettman ruled that the original team should have known better, and the contract signed with the late coming team to the party, that contract was ruled valid, and the original team was left with nothing.
I do think I know who this player is. I believe the team who was shafted is the Edmonton Oilers, and the player is noted father of William Nylander, Michael Nylander.
Correct. Now, Alan doesn't name him in that. But
so we don't know.
But we have details in that story that go beyond what you just heard there. Obviously, that was highly edited.
It was all his kid's fault?
Well, no, but
because he was born in Calgary.
Because he was born in Calgary, yeah. No,
and he said,
I heard that too.
Screw the Oilers.
And he wouldn't back check.
Damn. Yeah, when I get old, when I'm older, I'm not going to back check, is what he said.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
also, I got a mushroom cut.
It's a great
He had a mushroom cut when he was a kid.
It's a great episode, and to be honest with you, I think it's Alan at his best. The thing about the salary cap for me was the mind-blowing one, because that really, I'm a Leafs fan. Please spend more money. So obviously we know. Here's the thing, and I sort of mentioned this. They're going to start structuring deals for this date.
Ooh.
And I'm not going to tell you what the date is. I'm going to make you listen.
No.
But I want you to start, when you listen to this episode, start watching. Because I brought up Matt Barzal in the episode. Start watching for players that sign contracts that expire that year.
Oh, no.
That's the year to watch out for, guys.
No,
because there's going to be a lot of players walking into unrestricted free agency that year on purpose. They'll accept less money now to do it. I can guarantee it.
Free agency, by the way, I've just been just going about my life, covering the playoffs, and I got the draft on my mind because we're gonna potentially announce them. With that, haven't been thinking a lick about free agency.
Well, because as Leafs, what are you gonna do?
To the point where I booked a vacation.
Oh yeah, Steve. I don't know if you know this, Steve. We had 3 shows to do per week until free agency, right? And even the week of free agency, like afterwards, we still do episodes because obviously we got to have our CJ episode. We got to have some like recaps and stuff like that. And then we're going to be, gearing it down a little for the summertime, but very short.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a short summer this year. And Steve, what did you do?
Well, my wife, wanted to go somewhere, not go somewhere far, but, go somewhere and get away. And I was just like, yeah, sure. That sounds great. You should do that. What are the dates? She told me the dates. I go, great. And so she booked it. And it wasn't until I told these 2 fine gentlemen that they're like, you moron.
We didn't say that. We just said, hey, we need you that week.
Yeah, we need you that week because that is the week of free agency. But my mind wasn't in it. Like, free agency, the day free agency opens is, I believe it's July 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whoops. Sorry, I don't have any defense of myself other than it's not usually July 14th.
And you have another organization you also work for who's
they wouldn't have been happy either.
They're going to require your services over that week.
So
there'd have been some hat picks and dangets that would have had to have been shot at the lake.
No, so we changed it.
That's good.
Right.
Happy to hear that.
So back to what you were talking about, what Alan was talking about on Agent Provocateur about the cap spike. So in 2016, this happened in the offseason for the NBA because they signed a new TV deal that was so much more than the previous deal. And they jumped the salary cap from, I believe it was 70 million to 94 million. Wow. So there was an extra $24 million all of a sudden in one offseason. It's the offseason that led to the Warriors having the room to sign Kevin Durant. And all of these new players just got these massive deals. And now we see $50 million contracts, Russell Westbrook, in the NBA. You know, so
is he really?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So I think it's at 45, 50-ish. So there's this it's not happening because of a new CBA negotiation. It's happening because of pandemic, like different reasons is happening. But this spike in the salary cap changed the way NBA contracts were and the structure of teams for a whole offseason and a couple years after that. They've kind of settled it now. And we're going to get this exact same thing happening in the NHL if they don't gradually spike it. If they just do one big jump like the NBA did, it's going to change the entire outlook of teams in one season. It's going to be crazy.
Just to give you an idea, Jesse's absolutely right, because it might go up $1 million or something like that. But like for the next few years. But when this season happens, and again, I'm going to wait till Monday before we talk about this.
What year it is?
No.
They're talking a $10 to $12 million jump in one season. Imagine what that does for teams.
Yo, long-term deal for Mikheyev?
Is
Is that what that means?
That's what it means.
Yo, long-term deal for Mikheyev?
What NBA teams did in anticipation of that is they limited contracts to all end by 2016 because they knew they'd have all this extra cap space. So they had all these deals ending that same offseason. So they'd have room for all of these free agents. And if the NHL gets to a point where they can say, okay, we're going to pinpoint this is the year it's going to be, we might see teams start being like, okay, we're only handing out 2-year deals because we know in 20 blah blah that the salary cap is going to spike by $10 million. We want that extra room to go spending that offseason.
And you're going to see them grinding RFAs.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to grind star RFAs to go a year or two past this so that the salary cap is filled back up again. Because what happens, right, is when you have more money to spend, you spend it. And so a couple of years later, it'll get back to, well, there's only 5 teams that have the cap space to spend that kind of money this summer.
So now everyone's just going to be following this free agency like they're watching The Big Short.
Yes.
Or like they're a character from The Big Short.
Yes.
No, you don't understand. It's coming. The bubble is going to burst, you see.
100%.
boy.
Yeah.
By the way, what a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 3 years we'll be back to nobody has a room. It's 100% what happened in the NBA and it's what's going to happen in NHL because they can't control themselves. They spend the extra money that's there.
That's why they have the cap. It's not for the players. It's for the GMs. Now, I want to ask you a question. Let's talk about SDPN as a network.
It's great.
Okay? Let's talk about SDPN as a network. Let's say we have end of season meetings, which we don't, but let's say we did. We have end of season meetings and we bring in exit meetings and we bring in Alan. We bring in all the hosts from Game Over. We bring in Andrew. We bring in Julian and CJ.
Just name them all.
Name them all.
Just keep Noxie and Cax.
Noxie and Cax.
We bring in Robert.
We bring Robert. Jamie.
Yams.
Yeah, absolutely.
We bring in
everybody.
You just keep going.
Leo. We bring in Leo.
We're bringing Leo.
Producer Nick.
That's right. Producer Nick.
Yeah.
How can we forget Producer Nick? And let's say
Waffles.
Let's say
Cedric.
We say to let's say we say to everybody,
Teddy the cat.
You're safe next year. Yeah. You're safe. You're getting a contract where you're on.
I love this.
And then we go drive, and I'm only saying this person's name because their house is the closest to mine. We drive over to CJ's house, which is about 5 minutes from mine. I can walk to CJ's in 15 minutes, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. And we go, CJ, remember how we had that meeting 3 weeks ago? And we told you were safe. You're fired. Mm-hmm. How do you think that goes over?
We might look like dicks.
Super well.
Super duper well.
Yeah. And this exact scenario happened.
So
in real life.
So, and here's the wild part, right? Okay, let me ask you a question. I've never been fired before, thank God. Knock on wood.
Oh, it's coming.
Well, if you work in radio, it's inevitably going to find you.
You read the email I sent you?
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah. Jesse, you're so bait. Jesus.
So when you're going to get fired, would you rather be in the office for which you work or your house for which you relax and raise your family?
Ooh.
Because I'll tell you this, I'd rather it happen in the office because the house is where I go to escape.
Ooh.
So like they say, if you're working from home, don't work in your bedroom because that's a relaxation space. It's not a workspace.
I don't like those questions. Where would you like to be fired?
Where would you, if you're going to be fired?
It's actually a good question.
It is.
It's because now I'm thinking about it. So first of all, I did LFRs from my bedroom for over half a decade, which explains a lot about my mental health. There's see, the issue with me is I have that long commute.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine having to sit in 2 hours worth of DVP in 401 traffic, driving home after being fired.
You can take the GO train.
I think I don't want to be sharing a car with a bunch of people, with literally dozens of strangers after I've been fired. I want to be somewhere where I can have a good cry.
I would want it to be at home, because at home I have a fridge and I can comfort myself.
Okay.
There's ice
So
cream
you both
in the
want
fridge.
that. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I'm saying office. And I'm saying that the Boston Bruins line about being respectful to Bruce Cassidy and firing him at his house is the most gigantic load of shit I've ever read in my life.
No, wait.
Because
They went to
they
his
drove
house?
to his house and fired him at his house.
Okay, no, that's different. That's kind of fucked.
We want to have a meeting with you, Bruce. Okay, come on over. I already know I'm safe. I wonder what this is about. So they come over. Out of respect, we wanted to see you in person, which is why we're firing you in your front fucking living room.
Yeah, no, okay, that's strange. That's what happened?
Yeah.
Ew.
It was right.
What is with the Bruins?
Can I spell out kind of the timeline that I think went down here?
Give it to
I
us.
read a
Give it
lot
to
of the
us.
reporting on this yesterday after we talked about it on Wednesday.
Yeah, because all I saw was that he was told he was safe and then he wasn't. That's all I know.
Yeah. So it looks like, so Cam Neely had a problem. President of the team, Cam Neely, had a problem in season with how Bruce Cassidy was handling the younger players. He had mentioned in the meeting, in the media and all that stuff, and they had a talk and all that. So Cam Neely wasn't the biggest fan of Bruce Cassidy.
Whatever.
Don Sweeney, however, seemed like he was a fan of everything. So they talk after the season. Don says, you're safe. Everything's good to go. Don Sweeney has a meeting with Cam Neely, the president, and ownership. I'm speculating here, but based on the reporting, this is kind of the timeline that I see unfolding here. After his exit meeting with Cassidy, Sweeney has his exit meeting, chats with Cam Neely. I'm sure they're always talking, and ownership. They think there's a problem there with Cassidy.
Ownership
And Neely.
You mean Jeremy Jacobs?
Well, that is
The name that shall not be spoken.
Yeah, sorry.
They think there's a problem with Cassidy. Sweeney's back is up against the wall. He doesn't have a contract after next season. Same with Cassidy. So Sweeney is fighting for his life here. He seems to acquiesce to his guys on top of him, the president and the ownership.
Which you are, if they tell you to do something, you have to do it.
Right. He seems to do what they want and get rid of the head coach, even though the problems with Boston's roster right now is kind of Don Sweeney's fault, in that the older group is getting old and they're all injured and the younger guys don't have room to play. So Cassidy, who's a fantastic head coach, who's been to the Stanley Cup final, you know, like all he's done is when he's never missed the playoffs as head coach of this team. He's a
Game
great coach,
away.
becomes the fall guy for this roster that's kind of disintegrating. And it's really on Neely and the owner, who don't like Cassidy, who don't think he's the right head coach for the team. And they've kind of forced Sweeney to fire his head coach.
Can you imagine, guys,
That's the timeline.
what the Boston Bruins would look like with Matt Barzal, Kyle Connor, and Thomas Chabot, who went
I don't want it.
16, 17, and 18 in the 2015 draft? That is behind Zachary Senyshyn. That's behind Jake DeBrusk and Jakob Zboril. Now, so those are the next three picks: is Barzal, Connor, Chabot. Oh, and by the way, Detroit picked Evgeny Svechnikov, Eriksson Ek went at 20, Ooh. Colin White at 21, Ilya Samsonov, Washington, 22, Brock Besser, 23, Konechny, 24, Roslovich, 25, Noah Juleson, 26.
Dermott.
It's bad. It's bad. Yeah, Bert Dermott did go at.
It's one draft,
but they had three. Here's the thing: they got three fucking picks in a row. And listen, DeBrusk's been a good NHL player.
Yeah,
but you've even soured that relationship. Connor, Chabot, and Barzal.
If you get three Jake DeBrusk, you're doing fine. They didn't. They got one. They had three shots at it. And let's remember like who they dealt for these picks. Like Lucic was one of those picks.
Yeah.
That
was from LA, right?
Yeah, they acquired friggin' when he was good, the goalie, Martin Jones.
Yeah.
and they flipped a pick, and that's how they got a first. Like, those firsts did not fall out of the sky. Like, they paid something for them. Don't
forget Sebastian Aho, who the Leafs swung and missed on the next pick after Travis Dermott.
Yeah, underrated leap. Not good.
Not a good draft for the Leafs.
Right. And like Cassidy's becoming the fall guy for like a player like Jack Studnicka.
Yeah,
he's 23 now, and I think
former captain of the Gents.
I think Neely looks down at the roster, and he expects somebody like that to have taken the next step and been in the lineup every day. And they're blaming Cassidy for that. Well, when I'm looking at it is, hey, there's not room on the roster for them because they're trying to win.
What'd you sign Holla for then?
Right. And Neely's created this situation where the young guys don't have room to thrive. They're not beating out these old guys for a place in the lineup.
Every year we look at the Bruins on paper, and like to the point where we made a joke of it this year before the season. Every year we look at the Bruins on paper and we're like, well, they got to get old and shitty eventually. It hasn't happened yet, though.
And they weren't old and shitty this year.
No, they weren't. That's another thing, too. But there wasn't ever even really a retool year. Or a we're going to try this guy out year.
There's never been that.
No, and he's, that's a good
Trent
candidate.
Frederick, is that we're trying new guy?
Well, and now
young guy?
Everyone's talking about trading him. And no. What? Why are you trading one of your team's youngest players? Well, he's got value. Yeah, it's because he's young.
Because he's good.
He can have value for you. You silly goose. What are you, the Blackhawks? We'll maybe talk about them later. But this is and again, I think this all goes back to Sweeney. You know what? Let it ride. And he let it ride for, it's hard to say too long because they've still been good and they were a game away from beating Carolina, and it's hard to say he overplayed his hand. But once you lose in the first round this year, or whatever round, maybe you win that game and you go to the second, who knows, maybe they have a deep run. What was this year, or next year, sorry, what was this offseason ever supposed to be for the Bruins? The position they're in shouldn't be a surprise to them. And they still might be fine.
They will be fine.
They still might be. You know what Julian and Chris were talking about on the Chris Johnston show?
What's that?
The possibility of David Krejci coming back, joining the free agent acquisition of Nazem Kadri.
Oh God, can you imagine?
Nightmare fuel.
It was a great theory.
Shit.
Nightmare fuel. And
Bergeron sticks around.
Kadri Bruins jersey on a line.
And Bergeron, he'd be like, just pay me $1 million. One more season.
Kadri with Marchand and DeBrusque and the fourth line mate, my sadness. They still might be fine.
I'm just saying.
But they are in a predicament.
I'm just saying it's cold as hell to show up at someone's house, call it respect, and then fire them after telling them they're fine.
Yeah,
come on, man. That's, I wanted to do it face to face. Find a fucking restaurant then.
Like that scene with Hatteberg in Moneyball, except they tell him he's off the team.
Yeah, they're not
offering him a contract.
First base not that hard. It's extremely hard.
It's extremely hard, and that's why you won't be doing it anymore. We're letting you go.
It's nuts. It's
dude.
Nuts.
Yeah. Oh my God, bro, find a park. Go get a coffee. Go.
Yeah.
What are you firing me in my living room for?
Bring him into the Bruins office one more time and do it in a professional environment.
Where am I supposed to go and be mad after? Dude. Yeah. And the thing I didn't know about Cassidy is he was a Bruins fan.
He's been in that organization for 14 years. He's been head coach for it was 4 or 5 seasons or 4 seasons, God. I believe. But he was there 14 years in Boston.
Now listen, they say sports are cold and cutthroat.
Why?
And they're not wrong. But you can be cold and cutthroat, but also do it with a way of a measure of sort of respect. It's the same thing we talk about with Vegas.
Don't fire me in my living room.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I asked the question with this. Yeah. I'm I read that story. I'm like, how would I feel about my boss telling? And this happens in radio too, right?
I'm just
they're like, hey, you're fine. Nope, you're not fine anymore. right? And it happens. But I'm just saying, don't fucking fire me at home, man. Bring me to the office, fire me the proper way, and let me walk out with HR in a box full of my stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
I'm picturing like all the little moments. Like, he goes to get a mug the next morning and he's like, this is the mug that I gave them.
Think about this. Because now he's got to, because Bruce now has to talk to his children.
Yeah.
When they come home from school. And then he said in the interview, he's had to talk to his kids and tell them what to do when kids on the playground chirp them because their dad got fired.
That press conference he did was an hour long on Zoom with the media, and he just chatted with all of them, give them everything they wanted to know for an hour after he was fired.
Here, Jesse, I'm going to be Cam Neely and Don Sweeney, and you be Bruce Cassidy. Okay.
Okay.
So you've been with the organization for 14 years. We really appreciate all the work you've done. But unfortunately, even though we said you're safe, we're going to have to let you go.
That's not in line with what you've been telling me all season long, what you told me 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we got to let you go.
Although it's a really comfortable couch you have.
I'm very caught off guard.
Okay. Well, I've delivered the news. Can I use your bathroom?
Like, not the one downstairs. The downstairs, the flusher is a little broken. I have to replace it. You can use the one upstairs.
You imagine he clogs the toilet on the way up? He takes his shit.
Okay.
You imagine he took it? What? He's in my house. Like,
in that interview, you know how I know Bruce Cassidy was a scapegoat? They asked him, and he was so honest for that whole hour. They asked Cassidy, "Hey, are you the scapegoat?" Cassidy goes, "You guys will have to determine that."
So yes.
That means yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
He was
Yes,
every answer he gave, he watched the Zoom. Every answer he gave was like 5 minutes, and it was thoughtful. And then they asked him, "Are you escaping?" You guys have to determine that. He said it.
Listen, I know how this works. Like, this is going to get clipped, and I'm going to get ripped by Bruins fans and Leaf fan bias against the Bruins, whatever. Anyone who actually listens to the show and anyone who's actually listened to the segment in its entirety, you know I have a reverence for the Boston Bruins. It's, Channel 4 news team. God damn it, I respect you. And I respect their culture of winning, how important winning is. And, I respect the organization. I greatly respect the organization for what they've been able to do for well over a decade now. This is, I'm going to say, uncharacteristic. This is not.
It is uncharacteristic.
This is like, we all know the owner's a greaseball, whatever. But everyone under him seems to carry themselves with a certain professionalism.
You're a Bruin.
You're a Bruin, and they have a culture and they have a style. And we talk about how the Flyers and the Broad Street Bullies and everything that you expect out of the Philadelphia Flyers, they've completely gotten away from that.
Yeah.
The Bruins are that.
Yeah.
Right? The Bruins have an identity.
Flyers are a gong show.
The Flyers are a gong show. The Bruins have an identity that they've been able to stick to over the years. And this whole firing Bruce Cassidy saga reeks of a greasiness and unprofessionalism that I never would have expected of an organization as revered as the Boston Bruins.
Especially considering the former coach. I mean, Bruce Cassidy was there for 5 years.
That's it?
But Claude Julien was there for 10. And when he was fired, though, it was quite sudden.
They missed back-to-back years,
Wasn't it?
I think. The Claude Julien missed back-to-back playoffs, and I think that's
that
why
what it was?
He got let go.
Well, they
Or
were going to
at
fire
least-
him. They were going to fire him. There were rumors of him getting fired when the Bruins were going to potentially lose the first-round series to the Leafs in 2013. Then they won and go all the way to the Stanley Cup final, and they're like, well, we can't get rid of him now.
Yeah.
So they held on to him for a bit.
Wow.
He was rumored to be getting fired that year.
Wow.
But they go all the way to the Cup final.
That's crazy. So
Yeah, Claude Julien, he misses in back-to-back years, and then midway through the 17 season, they let him go.
Hey, can you do me a favor, Jesse? Can we bring up on the big board? Can you just Google image search Bruce Cassidy, please, for a moment?
Like his face?
Yeah, just give me a picture of Bruce Cassidy where I can look at Bruce Cassidy. Just give me a minute.
I
There's
wanna
a
see
reason.
what's
On the
going on
video
here.
board.
Why do you want this?
Just do it.
Okay, hold on. I'll do the one the Sportsnet used for his firing.
Okay.
So you want on screen right now
Yeah.
is Bruce Cassidy, his face. What's wrong?
I just want to see.
What's wrong? Oh,
Okay.
what's
Yeah.
wrong?
Okay.
Okay.
So, trivia. How old's Bruce Cassidy?
48.
Okay. Jesse, how old, looking at that, how old is that man?
Bruce Cassidy? 42.
Bruce Cassidy is 57 years old.
What?
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Former player, born in 1965.
I don't believe you.
He's
Yeah, that's not true.
I know.
You found that on wikilies.fake.
Yeah, I know.
That's not true.
He played from 84 to 96, guys. And
Nah.
yeah.
You have the wrong information.
No, Bruce Cassidy was drafted in the first round, 18th overall by the Chicago Blackhawks in what year, guys?
You said he played in the 80s, so
1977.
78.
Wow, a little later than that, 83.
Damn. What the? Why?
He was 18 in 1983.
He only played
I don't
36
think
games.
he was. That's the weird part.
He played 30. Yeah.
What?
57 years ago.
What?
He is 57 years old, born May 29th. Guys, I've seen it in 4 different spots. Like, you could keep not believing me, but I'm actually right about
that's
this.
That's a 60-year-old man?
That's a 60-year-old man.
57.
He played 36 games in the NHL, all for the Blackhawks.
He looks incredible.
The Bruins saw a first rounder who didn't work out, and they're like, "That's our guy."
But I'm telling you, man,
Wow.
isn't that nuts?
He looks incredible.
He looks amazing. And by the way, they asked him when you want to get back behind the bench. He's like, as soon as possible. Let's move on. I got this one. We got to talk about this. Evander Kane writes a note to the fans in Edmonton that looks suspiciously like good fucking buy. I'm going to go take my $8 million somewhere. Which, by the way, was a number quoted within the league. How much he's going to make per year next year.
Kevin Weeks?
Have we not? Yes, Kevin Weeks on Tim and Friends, I believe, right?
I don't know.
I think it was on Tim and Friends.
Oh, yeah?
I just want to make sure it came from the right place.
I believe it was weak.
Listen, we know this story, okay? We know that it always starts good with Evander Kane and then it doesn't end good.
Oh, he doesn't.
It's happened with every team he's been on, but here's what he said. Thank you to all the fans who supported me this year. To everyone who doubted me, I thank you as well.
No one ever doubted your hockey playing ability. That's gaslighting.
To my Oilers teammates, I appreciate each and every single one of you for welcoming in, embracing me in such a genuine way. I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to play with such a committed, hardworking, and loyal group, except the fucking haters. Actually, no, I'm kidding. He didn't say that. The Edmonton Oilers are a first-class organization with such great staff from top to bottom. I thank them for giving me the opportunity to play for such a historic franchise. To the fans in Edmonton, I thank you for treating my family and I with such kindness and respect. Thank you from 91. So, listen, he had a good playoffs.
Cool.
And it looks like he's going to go cha-ching and make as much money as he possibly can.
Go ka-ching?
Go ka-ching. He's going to go ka-ching.
Is that a phrase?
It is now.
You've never heard that?
I know.
Ka-ching. Ka-ching.
Listen,
I don't know about ka-ching.
he's going to go
I think
ka-ching.
it's cha-ching.
Okay, well, whatever.
Okay.
I just think it's funny how. So Ken Holland gets up in front of the press conference thing at the end of the season. Well, can you afford Evander Kane? Well, I got to figure that out. Are you bringing back Puljujärvi? This is what I got to figure out. Evander Kane is really going to do this. He's really going to do this. After everything that's happened, somebody's going to come along and they're going to give him
A raise.
a raise.
A
He was
raise on
making
top of his Sharks salary.
That's right, because he's still making that, is he not? As a part of the buyout terms?
I
or
believe
some-
it's still up in the air.
Okay, so they're not sure, but that contract could get voided.
Mhm.
But he was making $7 million a year, pulled what he pulled. The Sharks dressing room revolted and told the general manager, you cannot bring this person back. He has a good 20-game stretch, a great 20-game stretch. But he's got a resume that has a lot of bombshells in it.
Dude, he led the Sharks in scoring last year. He led the playoffs in scoring this year. I don't think anybody ever doubted his hockey playing ability. Anybody.
But here we are, and we're talking about this guy's going to get a raise. I thought when we talked about it last press conference, last episode, I'm like, yeah, he's probably like a $3 or $4 million player for a couple of years because you want to see if this guy's for real.
No accounting for his baggage whatsoever. None.
He's an $8 million player.
No.
If there's no baggage.
No, but I'm saying Yeah, but there is.
That's what I'm saying, though.
So there's zero consideration.
So they're just going to ignore that.
But also, all the GMs around the NHL, every owner worth a damn, and every group surrounding the GMs worth a damn is going to go, okay, you could have had this player for borderline free a few months ago. The Sharks offered him league-wide, I'm sure.
Yep.
No GM got it done.
Nope. You know why?
Why?
Nobody wanted to be seen to have traded for him, because that would imply that they gave something up and they wanted him. But somehow the Oilers get away with, but that's just money. It's not assets.
People are not that stupid.
I think that's how people look at it.
No one's looking at Ken Holland and going, well,
it's just money.
Only gave him money.
The owner's a billionaire. Who cares?
Oh.
Now, listen, do I agree with that? No, but I think there's a little bit of that going on. No team wants to be didn't want to be to be seen as the team that was doing that. Yet here we are. And what it's looking like, if Kevin Weeks is to be believed, and I believe Kevin Weeks is pretty fucking smart and pretty well connected.
Pretty good resume.
Pretty much broke every trade this year, right?
Yeah, Brendan Metal.
He broke Brendan Metal.
He broke that.
I have to tell you, guys, I'm shocked. $8 million? Nah. Now, he hasn't got it yet.
Nah.
You don't think it's going to happen?
No, I'm not shocked. I'm
really
just not shocked. My favorite part of his deal when it comes is going to be the term. Oh.
What do you think it's going to be?
As long as he wants. No. Adam, he leads the playoffs currently in goal scoring. It might end that way.
No, it won't.
Probably not, but it could. In theory.
He had like 14, right?
He had 13, 14. And if he's able to command $8 million, no one's going to be like, okay, 8 times 1. That happened to Taylor Hall. It was a unique screw up from his agent. He's going to get term. And the only thing that consistently never works out with Evander Kane is term.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to get, $8 million times whatever the fuck he wants, because he's the belle of the ball in terms of wingers and goal scorers, and he's going to hit the ice next year, and everyone's going to be like, oh, but I thought this contract was bad. And it's like, you dumbass! We never said he was a bad hockey player.
In fact, he was a great hockey player. We just wished he could get his shit together off the ice.
He is by far, of all the things he does, the best at hockey. Evander Kane, best hockey player. So good.
Of all of Evander Kane's skills, playing hockey is the best skill.
4th overall pick, friggin' 30 goal scorer, 50, 60, maybe 70 point getter if he's able to play an entire season. Playoff scorer, one of the most underrated fighters probably in the NHL. He's a hard hitter. Oh, he's a total package. So why does his suitcase have so many damn stamps?
How many years does he get? $1 million question.
It's $8 million question, and I'm going to say no less than 4.
Okay, no trade? Is there a clause?
Easily.
Which one is it? No trade, no move, limited no move, limited no trade? Like what are we looking at?
He gets the no trade, but he doesn't get the no move.
He's going to want no move because the Sharks sent him to the AHL.
Who's his agent?
Dan Milstein.
Because he either fired his other agent or his other agent dropped him.
Yeah.
I can't remember which
back in December.
Yeah, I don't remember, but he's with Dan Milstein right now, who is going to be a busy bee buzz this summer with Ilya Mikheyev as well. It's going to be pretty good.
His 2 best clients.
Oh, dude. You know what? I don't think we can afford Evander Kane. Well, my other client, Ilya.
Are you looking up his clients?
Yeah.
He's got some great clients, and a lot of them. There's going to be
number 1's Ilya Mikheyev.
There's
number 2 is anybody else.
No. And Dan Milstein's got.
That's why.
First off, he's all Russian players.
That's why I'm joking that it's Ilya Mikheyev.
Yeah.
Oh,
his 3rd best contract. We're going to go 3-2-1 until Evander Kane, which will be probably number 3. This will take. Who's Dan Milstein's 3rd highest player?
Does he not represent Ovi?
No.
Malkin?
Ovi's mom represents Ovi.
You're going to say Malkin?
Yeah.
Okay, Steve? Who's his third highest paid client?
Is it Vasilevsky?
Panarin?
Third highest, right?
Third highest.
Okay, so you said no. You give me one answer.
I'm trying to get
Don't
the top
name
3.
every Russian.
I
not
know,
playing the game
it's
called
one of them.
Pavel Bure, Sergei Fedorov, Alex McGillney.
You said Malkin. You said
Vasilevsky.
Nikita Zaitsev is his third highest paid client at $4.5 million a year. I thought you got like that. Number 2, Vasilevsky at 9.5. Number 1, same number.
Yep.
Who is it?
Number 1 bullshit. Nikita Kucherov.
That's right.
Nice.
And then he's going to add Evander Kane and then whatever goofy contract Mikheyev gets.
Nice.
That's not a bad. And let me throw this out there: Sorokin, Gavrikov, Barabanov, Artem Zub. Like Barabanov's making $2.5 million now, guys.
He deserves it.
Barbashev. Yeah, like
He is Ivan Barbashev?
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to get paid too.
And Saragonovich from
Sharangovich
at New Jersey.
Sharangovich.
Also, Rodion Amirov. If he plays for the Leafs and gets that second deal, it's going to be a good one. So listen, there's yeah. So here are his UFAs this year. Actually, he's going to have a big year. Zadorov, Kane, Nemesnikov, Mikheyev, and then there's Maxim Mamim and Wyman Kalanick. But basically, those are the big names.
Yeah, that's a decent little summer.
Yeah,
that's a decent little summer
for Dan. But I'm just, again, I want to go back to that is an unbelievable number for Evander Kane, given what's going on. And I guess baggage doesn't matter.
No.
Now,
but we knew that though.
So sorry, go ahead. Oh,
no, I said yeah.
Athletic Greens. You've heard us talk about it. Better gut health, more energy, stronger immune system. You don't have to have that weird pill bottle that your girlfriend puts together for you, TJ. Sorry. I was making fun of TJ.
Yeah, it's TJ. It's just him.
Just him. It couldn't be Steve.
No.
Could be. Does Mrs. Dangle put one together for you?
I mean,
we do these athletic reads every week. I'm embarrassed.
I'm not a smart guy.
Listen, here it is, okay? It contains less than a gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals. It supports better sleep quality and recovery for Steve, who's staying up late. It supports mental clarity and alertness, and it's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free. It's all good with Athletic Greens. Now, this is the chance that you have to reclaim your health. We're coming off the end of cold and flu season. I've been sick for like 2 weeks. You can avoid a little bit of that. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/SDP. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/SDP. Take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. What do you do when you have cravings?
Eat.
What do you eat?
Food.
Is it good for you food, though?
No.
That's what I thought. This is why you need Magic Spoon, Steve. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. It's only 140 calories, keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low carb. And you get to build your own box. 9 different flavors. Steve, can I recommend blueberry muffin?
Oh, that sounds good.
Yes.
Blueberry muffin is one of the flavors.
What about cinnamon roll?
That's good too. That's pretty
What about peanut butter?
I like all those things.
Listen, go to magicspoon.com/SDP to grab a custom bundle of cereal. And be sure to use the promo code SDP at checkout for $5 off your first order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's back with a 100% happiness guarantee. Almost like if the Leafs win the cup. You got to be that happy, okay? So if, for any reason, you don't like it, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/SDP. Use that promo code SDP to save $5 off. And thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode. Here's the thing about Manscaped.
What?
Our ads are a bit notorious with Manscaped, but you know that it's head to toe cleaning.
Balls.
Well, that is middle.
Oh, head to balls to toe.
Sure.
Okay.
If you, it's almost like adding an extra stop on your GPS. But if you start at the top, you can go with their 2-in-1 shampoo, and then you can use their body wash, which has aloe vera and sea salt, and then you can protect yourself with the body odor with the aluminum-free deodorant under the pits. And also you can use their refined cologne, which is nice. And if you've got tattoos and dry skin, hey, they've got a moisturizer and something for those sexy lips of yours, Steve. Lip balm with a matte finish to keep them from looking shiny. All of these products, by the way, and this matters, cruelty-free, paraben-free, dye-free, vegan, and each product is infused with their refined cologne so you smell good. Right? Now, you already know the promo code's Dangle. You don't need me to tell you. that it's 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use the promo code Dangle. But I'm going to tell you anyway.
That's such a good deal. We don't talk about that enough.
20% off, free shipping, manscaped.com. It's time to get wet and clean with Manscaped shower routine. Jesse Puljujärvi.
Future Leaf.
I honestly think he is. Ken Holland has to figure that out. I'm going to give you a Mark Spector tweet here. Puljujärvi's qualifying offer is only $1.4 million. He's got arbitration rights, but only one case has gone to arbitration in 2 years. He had 6 goals in the final 52 games. Okay. Now, he did have, I think it's important. Like, listen, I don't think Spec's ever been the biggest fan of Puljujärvi. And I think it's so funny because so much of the media in Edmonton don't like this guy. So much of the fan media, there's fans and there's fan media.
Yeah, Edmonton is a unique media market.
It is.
Yeah.
And in Edmonton, you can be like, there's like traditional media, fan media, and then fans. So much of the fan media and fans love Puljujärvi.
They get along really well.
It's not a contentious relationship at all.
No. Don't never take anything.
Holland said he probably lost his confidence. But I got to say, I think COVID's part of it.
He had some bad misses.
Yeah. Does this marriage finally end? Because it just seems like every time it gets going, it's like, and it's like, it's been a really contentious relationship. I just feel like sometimes it's time for a new start, don't you?
Yeah, or keep the good player and let him continue to be good for you. Like, I don't know what they expect to get out of that trade. Like how they expect to win.
Well, you're not going to win a trade where because all the guy on the other end of the phone has to do is say, he had 6 goals in his last 52 games. I'm not giving him much.
Well, okay.
Even if I'm Dubas, that's what I say. Even if I love Puljujärvi, I'm saying.
So, okay, at the draft, then you could get a pick for Puljujärvi or maybe some sort of package of picks. But it just doesn't help you now.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe, listen, the Oilers made it to the 3rd round with a team that's, pretty young, right? How does that help you now? How does that help you get to the 3rd round again and get to the finals, right? Like that's got to be the goal now, right? We can sit here and be like, they played the Doubtyless Kings and then they kicked Calgary's ass, right? Like the goal is to get back there. I mean, if you're Ken Holland and you're the Edmonton Oilers, you're McDavid, you're Draisaitl, you 100% expect to be back in that position next year. And I just don't understand how this makes you better. It could. Give me some of that, though. I'll take some of that.
I'm trying to figure out what the number should be for Puljujärvi.
He should ask for a 1-year deal wherever he goes.
You think he should do the bridge deal?
1 or 2 year deal. Yeah, because, dude, like Adam said, he's got nothing in terms of scoring stats as leverage, right? Ilya Mikheyev is rumored to be getting somewhere in the neighborhood of like $4 million because he finally started putting the puck
broke through. Yeah.
So everyone just completely forgets that Ilya Mikheyev for several years was dude who has the puck a lot and never scores.
Don't hands.
Nope. Scores now. Here's $4 million, end term. It's all immediate memory, short-term memory. Jesse Puljujärvi, there's a mountain of statistics that show he often has the puck. His team is more likely to score with him on the ice than be scored against. He's good defensively. He's responsible. Yep. 6 goals in 52 games. Boo, you suck. Like he should. I sort of think about like what I'm pretty sure it worked out this way. Andreas Janssen took a short deal. I think he signed like a 1-year, $800,000 deal.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And then he scored 20 goals.
And then he got a 3-year deal.
And then he got I think it was 4 times 3.4. I think. That's a decent payday.
Oh yeah.
That's a decent payday. And why not? Why would Jesse Puljujärvi look for term? So he had 55 games, he had 15 goals and 25 points 2 years ago. This year, in 65 games, he only had 14 goals. He did have more assists, though, 36 points, 65 games.
Half a point a game player.
Meh. 3 points in 16 playoff games. Meh.
He was injured for most.
Meh. You think GMs who are all former players give a shit about any of that? He played. Don't care if you were injured. You played. No, he should sign a 1 or 2 year deal. Listen, if the money is there now, take it. I don't think it will be. So he should take a 1 or 2 year deal and just light it up next year. Not even light it up. Put up 20.
Yeah.
20.
Play with McDavid.
The magic
Score a bunch
number,
of goals.
Yeah, the magic number for fuck you money.
Mm-hmm.
What do we call fuck you money? Right? Like for regular people, I mean.
2-3 million?
Yep. You score 20 goals 1 year once in the National Hockey League, fuck you money the rest of your life.
5 away from that.
It's a big 5.
It's not hard. I think a year healthy Puljujärvi isn't hard for him to get 20.
Yeah.
So you're advocating for him to take the 1 year deal because Edmonton has his right, so they'd have to give it to him. They'd have to offer it to him. The qualifying offer that he's going to get is $1.4 million if they're going to qualify him, which isn't. I don't think Ken Holland's going to not do that unless he trades his rights before that. And then if he doesn't want it, maybe they go to arbitration. Mm-hmm. Arbitration could be tricky because they could award him a decent chunk of change because arbitrators love handing out the players of big money. So if they're negotiating a deal and you're Puljujärvi's agent, do you know who it is? Since we're on the agent train.
Puljujärvi's agent. I will find out.
Puckpedia.
If you're sitting there and you're Puljujärvi's agent and Edmonton
Marcus Leto. He's the Finnish guy.
I recognize that name.
They come to you and they offer what Ken Holland's probably thinking. If I can get you for under $2 million, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Leto also is Esa Lindell, Teuvo Teravainen, Jesperi Kakaniemi, Rupe Hintz.
The Finnish Stan Mills.
Mikko Koskinen, Kasperi Kapanen, Marcus Nudivara, Tuukka Rask, obviously.
If I say I'm not going to give you more than the QO, I'm offering 1.4. That's what we're qualifying. You take that. You want another year with the Edmonton Oilers.
No, I'll take that and also trade me. If I'm his agent, I work to get the money this year doesn't matter. I work to get a better opportunity on another team where I can play in the top 6 because Oilers got Hyman, they got Fogle. I imagine they want to play higher in the lineup, and he's another guy who dealt with injuries. Nuge is in there. Yamamoto is in there, and there's been lots floating around that they value Yamamoto more than Puljujärvi. So rather than hope, I'm not going to accuse him of this. Rather than wait for an injury to happen to someone else, throw me somewhere with a better opportunity, and fucking I'll put up 50. I'll put up 20.
Matthews.
50 points maybe.
Yeah.
I'll put up. That'd be a great dude. 20 goals, 50 points.
It's awesome.
Money for the rest of your
That's
life.
a lot.
What do you mean?
He can do that. Puljujärvi can
20
do that.
and 30?
You go to a team that can score and you're given a top 6 role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He should be able to do that. No. He should be able to do that with McDavid and Draisaitl. He should. I got to move us
But he's
on
not
because
playing with him.
He was a lot of the season though.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Very
it's
quickly here,
situation.
The Leafs moved on from Steve Briere, who's been their goaltending coach. It seems like that was time. They've had struggles with goaltending the last couple of years. Injuries are part of it.
You know what I knew it was time? When Sheldon Keefe lambasted him on Amazon.
Make a fucking save.
What the fuck? Over the Freddie situation?
What's he supposed to do? And Sheldon with the... Fuck off! Is that one of the... I want to say that's one of the clips on our channel, is it not?
Yeah, probably.
I got to go back and watch because I just need that moment where Keefe goes... just the look... Oh, man. Anyone who's ever been on the receiving end of that look from anybody...
But Sheldon Keefe's
knows what it means. Yeah, that's
he's angry looking at the best of times.
Myrtle wrote an article.
Bazookas.
Myrtle wrote an article on this, firing some other Leafs notes, and one little sentence he had in there is that Freddie going away and performing really well last season did not sit well with people.
Oh,
that maybe he didn't get the most out of the goalie that was here for so many years.
Yeah.
I don't know what to take away from it, but
Well,
it's an interesting.
the Leafs-
Meanwhile, Jack
Leafs
Campbell's
had-
going to get like $5 million.
The Leafs had the Islanders guy who was like a goaltender whisperer, but when
Mitch
Lou,
Korn?
yeah, but when Lou left, he took him with him.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
that-
now Mitch Korn's contract is coming up, I believe. So there might be an opportunity to get him.
Fire
But-
the money cannon at him.
Briere
Fire
is
the
a-
Leafs money cannon at him.
Briere's a Korn disciple, so that's why they went with him, right?
Oh, okay. Well, that was dumb.
But
Now,
yeah, I can
So was Judas.
I can understand looking at Freddie and saying, you know what, maybe he went somewhere else and now he's better.
I also think there's a couple of parts of that which are okay. That fine. It didn't sit well, but he was healthy until he wasn't. And let's be honest, when you compare the way Carolina plays team defense versus the way the Leafs used to play team defense, and still they're nowhere close to where the Carolina Hurricanes are. I don't think on team defense. They're better,
Depends who you ask.
but
I'm just saying.
listen,
Depends
the
who you
Leafs are a little better on offense. Carolina's a little better on defense. Is that fair?
I will take Carolina's back end.
I'll take your back end. Anyway,
God damn.
so no, but what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying here is that, a little team defense helps goaltenders out too.
Yeah. And don't forget, the Leafs won despite under 900 save percentage for 4 months out of the
That's
season.
very true.
They put up their best points ever as a franchise, and they didn't get 900 save percentage for more than half of the season.
Is Peter Mrazek a starter next year because they can't sign anyone else and they're hoping that the next guy can fix him?
I think the Leafs will find a way to bypass the line at Pearson to get Mrazek out of town.
Here are 4 trade targets that Frank Saravalli put together for the Leafs this summer. Number 1, JT Miller.
Yep, he's been highly rumored.
And the Canucks are trying to figure out what the heck to do with him because they've got, he's got a great deal. $5.25 million bucks. He has 217 points in 202 games since Jim Benning traded for him. And I got to say, that's the best trade of Jim Benning's career.
Man, and it was...
And we were like, what the fuck at the time?
Well, because the
he's
first
awesome.
round pick for a non-playoff team, it was weird. It was a weird deal, but holy shit, he's been great.
Yeah. Now, would it have been better for the Canucks overall had they used that differently? Perhaps. Doesn't mean JT Miller's not a great player.
Great player.
It just means that Jim Benning never seemed to know that they were not a playoff team. Yeah. The other one that came up, and this has come up before, is John Gibson, number 2 on this list.
Come up many times.
Now, he didn't have the best year, but Anaheim sucked.
Yeah, I think it's very strange that people go, Gibson hasn't had a good year since... They stink.
Watch an Anaheim Ducks game.
They stink.
They're terrible.
They're not a good team.
Zegras is cool.
Oh, fun to watch.
Sonny Milano, cool.
Fun to watch because there's going to be goals. There's going to be goals and flippy shit and all sorts of fun stuff, but they're not a good hockey team.
If you want goals and flippy shit, Ducks are your team.
Absolutely.
How about this? Ethan Bear.
Oh.
Interesting depth piece. And then here's one that is interesting. Philip Myers. Now, he was loaned to the Leafs on March 23rd, and he played really great. Sorry, loaned to the Leafs, but he played for the Marlies, obviously.
Right.
Played great for them in the playoffs. But he gave him some good defense. But he makes $2.55 million.
Oh.
And would be a great buyout option for any team looking to clear cap space. So here's what happens. If you acquire him and buy him out, 25 years old, so it's a 1/3 buyout, not a 2/3 buyout, you will receive a $600,000 credit on next season's cap and then a $630,000 charge the following season. So assuming essentially...
Why is that a thing?
I don't understand that either, but that's what you get.
Like, that's what the Leafs did with Jared Cowan.
Yeah.
Why is that a thing?
I don't understand it either, but that's what it is.
Like, you get a guy like Brandon Pridham so that you can take advantage of loopholes like this. Why does that loophole exist? Why?
I don't know.
It's a loophole that encourages a buyout.
Yeah.
Who's for this? It's stupid.
Rory Boylan for Sportsnet.ca. So that article I got from, I should credit them, Leafs Nation, Nick Barden wrote that about Frank Saravalli. Nick's having a great year.
He's done some great work this year.
So Rory Boylan from Steve's silly little network, Sportsnet, came up with an article for 6 potential goaltender ads for the Leafs and or Oilers. So when I say a name, I want you to say who's the better fit for the team. Is it Leafs or Oilers? So you guys have to say Leafs or Oilers. Okay, ready? Ville Husso.
Leafs, because Jesse.
And Jesse?
Yeah, Leafs. I want a jersey.
Okay. Do you think they keep Binner and they keep going with Binner?
Yeah.
Harder to trade.
Yeah, I think the end of the playoffs proved that they got their guy.
Yeah.
Casey DeSmith. 26 games for the Pens this year. 2.79 goals against average, 914 save.
Oilers.
There's no way he leaves the Pens. Well, they got Jarry, but then they got Domingue, I guess.
The King Domingue.
Smith is better than Domingue, though. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They bring him back.
I
right?
love Domingue, though, because he's like, no, he's not. He's like just very confident man.
They should trade him then.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know? That's the guy.
Domingue should be on this list. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
Well,
it is.
DeSmith is, I believe he might be a free agent.
Oh, yeah. I would say Oilers.
Capo Kakinen.
Oh, man. I've always been interested in him. I was surprised Seattle didn't go after him. Leafs, because I want him.
Oilers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He only won 2 of 11 games in San Jose this year, but did post a .916 save percentage.
There's not
San
enough,
Jose sucks ass.
There's
so.
not enough resume there for me to be like, all right, Leafs starting goalie in a year we're trying to win.
No. I don't want him to be starter. That's for sure.
Okay, how about this one? Alex Nedeljkovic. If you remember, he had a good season in Carolina and stunk it up for Detroit. No, he was okay. He was okay.
What just happened with the Detroit goalie? People! What did we just do?
What did we just do?
Peter Mrazek!
He's several steps removed from Detroit goalie, but yeah.
He's Detroit's fault.
Yeah.
He's Detroit's fault.
He is. He's Detroit's fault. Carolina fans agree with me. Carolina fans.
You know what?
He's Detroit's fault.
A Carolina Detroit goalie?
Oh.
You're asking for curses. You're asking.
So Oilers for Nedeljkovic.
There's something about playing for both teams that ruins you.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. He's got $3 million and then he's walking to UFA. He is a value add.
No, he's
could he
not.
bounce? Well, he's a value add at $3 million. I guess 901 save percentage this year. Not great. Eric Comrie.
Ooh, tell me more.
Well, he's 27. Group 6 UFA means he qualifies an unrestricted free agent as he didn't meet the games played threshold by 25.
Like bunting.
Yeah. He became a full-time backup in Winnipeg this season. 19 games, 920 save percentage, and a 258 goals against average. And obviously, Connor Hellebuck's the starter there forever.
How many bathrooms? What's the square footage?
Shut up. Fight him. Smack him.
How dare you?
Just smack him.
I would like him because that would push Shelgren back down to the minors where he can be called up if you need, but that's not your starter.
Mackenzie Blackwood.
I feel like everybody's been trying to make Mackenzie Blackwood a thing, and it hasn't worked out.
H 92 save percentage and 399 goals against average for the atrocious Devils. Very, very interesting. Now, I desperately wanted to play the clips from the Live Golf conference press conference. Did you see this? Do you know what's going on with Live Golf?
Oh, I feel like you told me about this the other day.
Basically, it's a Saudi royal family backed golf tournament. And to give you an idea of what's happening here, obviously, there are some massive human rights concerns when it comes to this, right?
No, it's a regime that murders journalists. Yeah.
Yes. And a bunch of players have left the PGA for this. Now, they have their own gripes with the PGA. Aside from Live Golf, I can understand it. So I'll give you an instance. PGA, if you've got a PGA card, they are entitled to 10% of your earnings, no matter what, for the rest of your life, no matter what you do. So every time you win, they get 10% back. Every time you sign a Buick ad like Tiger Woods did. So let's say Tiger Woods signs for $100 million with Buick over 5 years. Guess who gets $10 million of that? PGA.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Everything you do, the PGA takes 10%. Unless you want to resign your card, which a bunch of players did. And so DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, Graham, what's his name? Let me see who else we got here. I'm just going to give you some of the names. You might know some of them. You might not. I'm not sure how.
Phil Mickelson.
I think Phil Mickelson, I think.
Lee Oosthuizen,
Graham McDowell, Taylor Gooch, Kevin Na. So some pretty good players, and then some hacks. Ari Fleischer ran the press conference, which was bananas. He's a Fox News contributor. It was super weird, but it got super contentious. And just to give you an idea of how much money they're paying these guys to leave, because Live Golf is basically playing this like the WHA sort of did. Except the WHA wasn't backed by that kind of money, and from that source, they're saying
if it was
free agency in golf is here. Is
run
what they're
by
saying.
a regime that murders journalists. Yeah.
Right. So they're saying free agency in golf is here. Get ready, it's happening. And they paid Dustin Johnson $130 million, which roughly doubles his total take from the PGA gross without PGA's take from that for his entire career. So maybe he's taken home $50 million, $60 million in career earnings. He just got paid $130 million to step on the golf course.
For 1 year?
Well, no, I think he's probably a couple of years
for the contract.
But he's also then entitled to prize money too,
if he wins and stuff. Yeah.
So it's not like he's playing for nothing. They to bring him over. Here's $130 million. Oh, Sergio Garcia is joining too. And a lot of these guys, like Sergio Garcia, used to be a great golfer, a little past his prime now. But the reality is, they're going after big names. They're going after everybody on the card, and they're going, "We have so much money, it doesn't matter. What do you want?"
I don't agree with who's running the league. Like, I think it's despicable that that the Saudi government's backing it. But the idea that the PGA is trying to stop these guys from going to another league is, I think, wrong.
They've suspended every player that's left indefinitely.
Yeah, I'm of the mind that all involved kind of suck ass.
Yeah, that's kind of what's happening.
I think that's fair.
Varying degrees of sucking ass, but they all suck ass.
So here's what we're gonna do. On Monday, I want to play for you this press conference in London.
Okay, gather the clips.
I have to gather the clips. I thought I had the clips. The clips have been pulled, so I gotta redo them. But the clips from the press conference and some of the, you know how the British press are. Mm-hmm. Some of these questions are some of those unbelievable questions I've ever heard asked at a press conference, and these guys don't know how to handle it. They're not ready.
If Dustin Johnson's getting paid, if they're paying him $130 million, you said, then that's his market value, and that's what he should be making with the PGA. So it's a shame that the PGA is paying these guys so much less than what clearly their actual value is.
Well, and taking some of it back.
Yeah, even that. Yeah. That's crazy.
But
where these guys are getting the money from is despicable.
Yeah.
How dare you go over there and be the face of this regime's terrible new entity?
And we go
everybody sucks.
We go back to Steve there. They all kind of suck. It all kind of sucks.
Both of you. Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
God damn.
Isn't it nuts?
That's
isn't it crazy?
Big,
it's a crazy, crazy, crazy situation.
You get the ick.
Yeah. Well, get ready. Wait till you hear this press conference. Holy shit. So that'll be on Monday's show. It's crazy. And from there, I guess, we could probably wrap the show, right? Do we want to do a press conference?
Big announcement coming on Monday.
Oh, it's Monday.
Yeah.
All right.
Monday's the big announcement. Mm-hmm. Okay. Don't forget to listen to the Jesse Blake Sports Report. The Chris Johnson Show, brand new yesterday. And then today you have, obviously, STP, which you've listened to, and also Agent Provocateur. And don't be surprised if in the next few weeks, the podcast rises from the dead.
Why are you
You can't hear the button.
I can hear it.
Oh, you got it?
Hear it,
Is it loud enough?
Rises from the dead.
Oh. Oh, you're talking about
the Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's sportsbook.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.